What is up, and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of Worth a Watch with me, Anthony Flores. It's been a while. That's all I can say. Life, YouTube sucks still. I'm not going to bore you all with all that stuff. I'm going to just say this. I'm going to keep making videos as long as I can. Sometimes you may not know I make videos, especially because of YouTube's wonderful system. I'm still here. I've done a few Twitch streams though, if any of y'all are interested. I do some live streams of drawing from time to time. If you like artwork and stuff like that, I like to think that's fun to check out from time to time. So AFlow Movie Film, that's the handle, twitch.tv/AFlow Movie Film, or follow me on all things social media, also at AFlow Movie Film. Or if you want to buy some cool stuff from time to time, I put up some random movie titles and collectibles on my store at the Collectible Goodness. A lot of cool stuff there. Follow me on all things social media. Links in the description below. It's a Memorial Day weekend mini haul, if you will, as well as I'm going to showcase my entire Ultra HD 4K movie collection. A whopping 8 titles. I pushed myself to finally just say, you know what? Maybe time to switch over, and I'll discuss a little bit more in a bit. This is arguably one of the most coolest steelbooks I've ever seen in my life. The Rick and Morty Season 3 steelbook. I mean, just look at that artwork. Just fucking beautiful. I mean, I don't know who the artist is in particular. That is straight up beautiful right there. And I'm really happy to have this in the collection. I think one of the biggest things is, especially with the announcement of 70 episodes are greenlit for Rick and Morty. Holy shit. I'm a very happy fan. Next up is set 3 of Ranma 1/2. This is the limited edition with the booklet and the DVD set inside, and a card of Ryoga, which is pretty cool. The little booklet here, and it's got some pretty cool Blu-ray disc artwork right there. It's pretty cool. Got this off of Amazon for a good price. I think it was like under $30. Next up is another, let's see here, another online pickup from eBay. I finally have Cool World back in my collection again. This, I originally had a copy, but somehow I forgot. Oh, it got water damaged. The whole spine got completely drenched in water. I don't even know how, but the artwork started peeling off. It was a mess. Just like this movie. And guess what? In terms of my podcast with my co-host Daniel, we are going to be covering this movie, and the episode should be up within the next month or so. Stay tuned for that. Again, the Fans Guide Animation. Give us a listen if you like. So Memorial Day weekend just happened, and if you do not know what Half Price Books is, oh man, it's one of the best stores ever. They have they had a 20% off sale, but I went to 2 different stores on 2 different days, and I found quality over quantity. That's how I go. First up, it's the out-of-print title, The Doom Generation. This was marked at $4.99. Usually this goes, I think, for about $20 online, and it was 20% off, so it was like $3 and change, and stars Rose McGowan. Don't know how good this movie is, if at all. I know it's kind of one of those smaller cult following movies, I think, but uncensored director's cut. I don't know if there's a difference, if there's a rated version or not, but looked interesting enough. So yeah, that was a blind buy. I don't know if it's going to be any good or not, but why not? Next up is a title, the find of the weekend, and that is Atlantis: The Lost Empire with very mint slipcover. Oh man, one time I found this with a destroyed slipcover and it broke my heart. And this, I love that they use the original poster art. I love that design. I know it's a little bit hard to get on the camera, but there we go. I love this. This movie's very underrated, and while the story is a little bit it's still pretty great, and the animation's different compared to most Disney movies. And just, yeah, a lot of the voice cast too is pretty great, so very happy to have that for my Disney collection. It's Disney slipcovers, the bane of any collector's existence. Speaking of Disney, and then we gotta talk Star Wars. I know Solo, a Star Wars story, came out. I could care less. I don't know if that's just me, but I don't think it is because it only made $80 million this past weekend. So I think it's more than just me. But in terms of Star Wars, and for $15.99, and that's already including the 20% off, the 4K release of Star Wars The Last Jedi. That has been my personal bar if I'm looking for just a standard 4K release. If it's not exclusive or anything, that's the one I decided to push myself to find them at about $15 or lower to justify the purchase, especially since I don't have a 4K TV or a 4K Blu-ray player yet. As of right now, it'll be fine. But this is a pretty sweet release. I love the slipcover. I love the red. That's one of the biggest things that I loved about this movie. A lot of the posters in the red. My favorite color is red, so that's just an opinion of mine. But oh man, this movie's so divisive, and it still is. A lot of people consider this garbage, and no opinion in the middle matters, right? I mean, I'm not a huge Star Wars fan, but I enjoyed this movie, and I think it's going to be vastly underappreciated. In the future, not right now. Everybody hates it right now. Like 70% of people truly like dislike it or hate it. I don't get it, but everybody's entitled to their own opinion, so, you know, such is life. And that'll be the start of my entire 4K Blu-ray collection, so let's dive right in. That was the first title up. Going with more Disney. We got plenty more here. Coco. It's an amazing, beautiful movie, and it embraces the Mexican culture so beautifully. I can never say enough good words about it. So even though if I'm not going to rewatch it too much because it just makes me too damn sad. More Disney. Yay. Black Panther. This is the movie I've spent the most money on. And I'm kind of not regretting it, but I feel like shit, that was a lot. And I don't know if it'll be cheaper to try to go the eBay or used route later, but I don't know. It's too early to tell, and I just jumped on it. I had the money. $34.99. This is the most expensive 4K movie I've bought so far, but this steelbook is damn beautiful, and I'm not going to be able to take everything out at the moment, but I mean, you got the cast on the inside as well. I know the discs are blocking everything, but the shot of Wakanda is all the way through here as well. One thing I gotta say, thank you Disney for finally stepping up your shit and putting artwork back on the discs. You know, like, I don't get it. They stopped doing that for years. They used to put artwork all over their discs, and then they stopped and made those very plain blue discs. It's the little things. And it's awesome that they're bringing artwork back, it looks like. So, cool. Next up, Deadpool. This movie only got better with age, if you ask me. I rewatched it before I saw Deadpool 2, and I feel that Deadpool 2 is better than this one. There was so much going on. It had a lot more stuff happening, but most movies that do that fail because they lose their identity halfway through the film. Deadpool 2, however, as much stuff is going on in that movie and so many characters get in the mix, it was balanced perfectly, and I enjoyed it so much. The humor was even crazier and more over the top than this film, and holy shit. And just in general, I love this artwork. This is probably the best artwork done so far for any of the Deadpool releases, and there's been a ton of them, including the 2-year release. But this will be the 4K Best Buy exclusive, and I think the main thing that was exclusive, besides the steelbook, the secondary thing was these little patches, which are pretty cool. Overall, I enjoyed Deadpool movies. I'm hoping they make a third. We'll see what happens. We got a couple action movies here. I think nobody's talking about this because of how much Ben Affleck got screwed with Batman lately, but I thought it was a pretty solid movie, and that is The Accountant. I mean, you have J.K. Simmons, Anna Kendrick, John Bernthal. I mean, a lot of good people in this movie. Definitely not talked about as much as it was when it first got released, but again, I think all the Batman stuff kind of overshadowed him, kind of killed the vibe for Ben Affleck movies. But I don't know. I think it's a pretty solid flick. Next up is John Wick, one of the best action movies of the decade. I think that's what many of us can agree with. But long story short, I think the second one was pretty good. Not as good as this one, but still pretty great. But it was definitely a nice setup to the third film, which will be coming out next year in 2019. So that's going to be interesting. I know the second one, I believe, went on sale recently, I think. I don't know. If it's like 15 bucks, I think I'll jump on it. And last but definitely not least, as a DC fan, happy to have these titles, for better or for worse. And I say that because Batman and Harley Quinn is definitely one of those titles that's, ooh, thinking about it now. The singing, the song number, the whole singing bit in this was so random. I didn't get it. But it's so good to see the style of Bruce Timm and Kevin Conroy and Lauren Lester back as Nightwing and Batman respectively. Melissa Rauch was an acquired taste of a Harley Quinn voice, but it grew on me. But overall, oh man, I don't know. I don't know if they're going to bring her back. I really wish they could have brought Tara Strong or Hynden Walsh. I think that's her name. She was a pretty good Harley Quinn. But it is what it is. It's an okay enough movie, and I believe I got that for like $10 somewhere. So that was a really good deal if you ask me. The last title, Wonder Woman. I believe I showcased this back in my Black Friday video, but yeah, $8. I will never forget that price. $8 for a Blu-ray title, or $8 for a 4K Blu-ray. If anything pops up this year in Black Friday, if it'll be $5 4K Blu-rays, holy shit. But $8 was a steal for this. This is one of the doorbuster deals that they had. And yeah, to me, this was also the best cover as well. I love this cover. The blues and the oranges and the yellows and reds mashing up pretty well. Love the movie too. It's still great. Even after I rewatched it, I think earlier this year, and it's still great. So that'll do it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for staying subscribed and enjoying my content for the few videos I do. But life and YouTube in general has been very rocky lately. But you know what? You take a deep breath. You do what you can. Take one thing at a time. And you keep doing what you love. I love doing videos. I really do. And while I don't make them very often, I still love to do these to the best of my abilities here. And I thank you for staying subscribed and watching. And hope you enjoyed this video. And if you want to see more collection updates of any kind, like collections within my collection, or maybe some VHS stuff, or whatever, or movie reviews, it does not matter. Feel free to leave a suggestion in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Anthony Flores with Worth a Watch, and keep going to the movies.